All right. So up next we have plant powered living with a very inspiring couple from Indonesia. They are my dear friends. They are also the instructors here at the Golden Space Indonesia. So please welcome live from Jakarta, Yodhananta Soewandi and Talita Setyadi.
Hey
Hi
guys,
guys.
Hi.
how are you all?
Hi, I'm great. How are you, Talita Yodha?
Uh, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, we're great, thanks. Great to see you,
All
Mas
right.
Bagia.
Good to see you, Mas.
Good to see you as well. So, yeah, let's just. Well, I mean, we know each other already, but not a lot of people here who are watching us probably know about you guys. So I'd like you to introduce yourself. Yoda, could you start with like telling us who you are and what you do and your journey into going into this plant-based living?
All right, so big warm welcome to everyone who's tuning into the session. Thank you so much for being here. So my name is Yoda, and I am an in-house practitioner of the Golden Space Indonesia, but I'm also a food entrepreneur who began a journey into veganism a few years ago, where I was motivated to be healthy because over 10 years ago now, I was severely obese at 175 kilograms. And due to concerns for myself, but also from the people around me, especially my family, I decided to take a step in becoming a better and healthier version of myself. And it began with accepting my mom's offer to get a special surgery done. It's called lap band operation, which basically putting a bracelet around my stomach so I would eat less. And that wasn't actually the beginning of my health journey because I thought that that band was an instant solution for me. Once I got this bracelet over my stomach, I'm going to lose weight instantly and I'm going to be healthy and I'm going to be fine. But that was not the case because the band only helped me to eat less, but my weight didn't fall as much as I hoped. It only helped me lose 25 kilograms. And so I was frustrated because getting that surgery was not easy and getting used to it was very difficult. And so I decided to find other solutions. And that's when I started to look into diet, into lifestyle, into, what is weight? How does our metabolism work? And so I started going on to my own journey of dieting, trying out all diets under the sun. South Beach, Atkins, blood type, age diet, DNA metabolism diet, and all kinds of things, pescatarian, and at the end of it, at the very last step of that journey, I decided, hey, I'm gonna try vegetarianism, and when I tried it, I enjoyed it the most, and I started to lose weight more in comparison to other diets, and there was no rebound. So I was like, oh, okay, I must be doing something right here. And so I just continued on this vegetarian diet, and a friend of mine just came up to me and said, hey, you're not even eating egg, so why don't you just be vegan? And just for that statement alone, it just inspired me. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'll just be vegan. And so, my weight loss journey, where it took me 9 years to lose 97 kilograms with no rebound, was completely driven and has always been from my own personal experience with my own health. You know, I became vegan because of how good I feel, how light I feel, and how stable my weight has been, and also the fact that I'm no longer prone to illness, because when I was obese and I was losing weight, I was hospitalized at least like 10 times because of fatty liver or like metabolic imbalances and GERD and irritable bowel syndrome, everything under the sun. I was just always sick. So when I became vegetarian and then vegan, there was no longer an issue. I haven't been in the hospital for like how long? Like
Uh,
I don't know, like 3 years, like
Not
four.
since we've been
Yeah,
together.
so like 4 years. So it's like it's just been an absolute blessing and a miracle. And so for me personally, it's about that getting a healthier version of myself and maintaining that with absolute ease. Like I can just enjoy myself, live life to the fullest, eat whatever I want, obviously vegan, and just yeah, it's just been awesome. So that's my personal story and why I'm living the plant-powered way.
Dang.
You know that
Wow.
story already,
I
right,
know.
man? So,
I like the vibe.
Wow. So out
Yeah.
of all the diets that you have done, actually, this is the one that works best for you because now you're not only, like slimmer. Of course, you've lost a lot of weight, but also you never go to the hospital because of that. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
All right,
Thanks.
and we're gonna talk more about how your story actually just broke the myth of how going plant-based or vegetarianism or veganism could actually cause you lack in certain nutrition. But before we go to that, let's move to Talita. So Tal, could you share more about yourself, what you do, and then how did you get into plant-based living?
Veganism. Okay. Hi, Bagya. Hi, family. Hi, everyone watching. Very nice to see you all this wonderful Sunday. My name is Talita Setyadi, based here in Jakarta, Indonesia, and a certified meditation instructor at the Golden Space Indonesia. Such a pleasure to be here today, especially to talk about my journey with not only veganism but food. Because maybe like a lot of women, a lot of girls, I'm sure you guys may have had certain certain weird relationship with food. I've gone through food addictions. I've gone through phases where I had eating disorders because again I had so many societal pressures from society and also parents and family to look a certain way. Therefore, I've always had a weird relationship with food, and I also worked out excessively. But it was at culinary school that I started to really understand and really love food. But at the culinary school, I was still eating as an omnivore, right? So I ate absolutely everything. I loved food. So basically, I know how to skin a rabbit. I know how to gut a fish. I know how to cook everything under the sun, basically. And for me, it was such a harsh transition, very hard transition to, even though I know the environmental benefits of being vegetarian and again vegan, it was just so hard to transition because I had dependency on food, and also I loved cooking, and then I ended up opening my own business, right? A cafe and restaurant which we serve meat. So to me,
And you're a master chef too, right?
yeah, I mean, any so then it became kind of strange, how do I kind of consolidate my profession as a chef as well as my belief in eating plant-based. So it took a lot of self-reflection to be able to kind of balance the two and really understand that my choice is my own, and that I'm not here to kind of preach or tell everyone else to be a certain way or do a certain thing. But I realized that I feel better. I used to have very acne prone skin. My skin has cleared up. I've maintained my weight. I get to still eat what I love, and then I still get to be more creative because yes, I'm a chef, but now I can find a lot of different ways to still eat deliciously, and how to make these plants and actually regular ingredients that we find every day in the markets into some new delicious food,
Dish
new
creation.
dishes, new creations. So that kind of helps me to be more creative in my own work, and it's benefited me in a lot of ways.
The both of us to be creative too, because we would challenge each other. Like, oh, who's gonna come up with the best vegan chocolate chip cookie
Oh
recipe in the
yeah, we
next
did.
like month? And then we'll just be like, kind of in our own little corners, but throwing ideas at each other too. And it's kind of like a healthy competitiveness between
Yeah,
us,
because
because
we both own bakeries.
yeah, and because I'm also a chef, and I mean, I'm not a Gordon Bleu Master Chef judge like my partner here, Talita, but I can swing around some chopsticks and spatulas in the kitchen, and so then this kind of allows a beautiful crucible of just creativity and creation, and we like that sense of adventure and
Yeah.
challenge.
And when we started seeing each other, actually, Yoda decided to actually transition from vegetarianism to veganism. early in our relationship. And we went traveling together. We went to Korea, and as you can understand, like some countries around the world still hasn't fully embraced the plant-based lifestyle, and therefore I actually found it very difficult to find food that we could eat. Yoda can live on fruits and vegetables, like he's a rabbit, he doesn't choose. But me, I like bulgogi, I like Korean barbecue, and I was like, just I felt deprived in the beginning. I was like, man, does being vegan like decrease my quality of life? I can no longer, like eat what I love. This is stupid. This I hate this so much. Like, so I had a period of several months of just hating.
Yeah, that was quite a exciting time for the both of us.
Yeah. But then again, like after a while, when you see how much better you feel, and then you start to get used to it. You know what I mean? Sometimes our resistance is actually guided and controlled and conditioned by our habits. You know what I mean? So actually, it's just by changing your habit, putting your body through another kind of another rhythm and another habit, it becomes so much easier. Now you don't look for the creaminess from milk. I don't look. I used to. I don't look for the omelet in the morning. I used to. It's just creating new habits. Suddenly, the old way doesn't even cross your mind anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's about shifting that focus, right, everyone? And I have a really funny story that I just want to share in regards to that Korean journey, right? So the reason why my partner was so triggered and just like annoyed at the whole trip, like because she came to Korea with a food guide, with a list of restaurants, right? Just imagine, guys, right? Like like those like good food guides and like Michelin star guides or whatever. So she had a list that she has collected for spanning a few years of her career. And so she's like, okay, we're gonna go to Korea. I'm gonna go to these restaurants. And I'm like, babe, do they have vegan options? Because I mean, it's not really worth the trip, isn't it? And then on the other side, I have my own list of like little vegan restaurants that I found on this cool app called Happy Cow. You guys can check it out, or on Google. And I mean, they're not as like fancy, or they're not on a fancy magazine or on a TV show or whatever. So it was a bit of a shock for her, and I'm like, babe, like there's actually vegan restaurants that we can visit. That's really cool. Like, but for her it's like, but there's these amazing restaurants that's like
Bakeries, actually,
bakeries and
bakeries.
won all these awards that we should go to. I'm like, well, we don't have vegan options. So I was encouraging her to shift her focus, right? It's like, hey, okay, we can't enjoy these places as how we used to, but there's all these other new places that we can explore that is a completely new horizon for us to check out. And it was so it's about when you decide to make a change in your life, you have to also change your focus too to align with that, right? And it's a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, beautiful. So, your journey, your individual journey actually contributed um, on the dynamics, of your relationship. And, you guys are a unique couple because both of you are vegan, right? And to see how that journey into how you in a way argued and then, finally came to terms with going with vegan on your trip, for example, that's something that actually can come out of this plan powered living as well. How it will also, in a way, strengthen your relationship. That's what I see. Okay, because um, yeah, the dynamics is just so beautiful. And let's just check the comments. Okay, a lot of people have been commenting on you guys. They love you so much, it seems.
Thanks for all
So
the love, guys.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, here's a testimonial from Michelle Chong. Yoda always can find amazing vegan restaurants. There you go.
When there's a will, there's
Okay,
a way.
Even he's
exactly.
he's the one that tries new things, whereas I stick to what I know. And yeah, it's
All
really
right.
cool.
So there's one question from Jing Wang. Talita, are you vegetarian as well? Else is Yoda suffering a lot when seeing you eat great food with meat?
So Yoda was actually a year ahead of me in transitioning into vegetarianism. So actually, when we met, I was already a vegetarian, but I wasn't yet vegan. And yes, the transition from being a meat eater was really tough to be vegetarian, and it wasn't until Awaken the Divine You that it finally, it set the boundary clear. Okay, no longer I would touch or eat anything that had a life previously. Well, plants had a life, but with a heartbeat. Yeah, and I remember that when I first transitioned into vegetarianism, and I was already vegetarian for 6 months. I have a business, right? Sometimes I visit my clients, and then my client who buys bread from me, when we came, he made a huge tomahawk steak worth $200, right? And he like plonked it in front of me, and he's like, "Check this out! I made this." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is $200. I can't not eat it, right?" So then I had some. And then, oh my God, bad idea. My body was so not used to it anymore. And then I had pretty much sore stomach and diarrhea for a week, a full week, like nonstop for a full week. So then it just made me realize, like, wow, our whole body has changed from, again, going to this vegetarian diet. Our body, as you know, cellularly refreshes itself, right? All the time. It's just dying and coming back to life, like all the time. You know what I mean? We are not this static body. We are ever changing, we're ever evolving. And therefore, my body has changed, my mind has changed, and everything has changed. Perspective and conditioning has changed, that no longer can we start to eat those things that we ate before. But again, like, actually for me, it was harder to transition from vegetarian to vegan, where me as a pastry chef, I can't touch cream anymore. Well, and I can't eat butter anymore. But then again, I worked out a way where, okay, Yoda, he's 100% clean, and he's like, he just doesn't taste anymore anything in this bakery. But then I was like, no, I still have to know how things taste. So then I made it so that for me it's slightly different. I still allow myself to taste test different dairy products, but then and then it made me realize, like, there is no 100% right way to be plant-based. You know what I mean? You have to allow yourself and give yourself the allowances to be able to curate this lifestyle into your life. There's no template that fits everyone. And so having more ease and kindness to myself, that's allowed me to be able to maintain being vegan now for how long?
Almost 2 years for you.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, so it's all good.
So yeah, that's
Wow.
a really good point. I mean, again, like everyone is responsible for their own lives, and that everyone has their own journey. Who are we to judge others or even ourselves? Because we have different experiences, we have different points of view and values, and whatever it is, you just have to be honest with yourself, right? And for me, I still consider myself an anomaly because when I became vegetarian, it was literally I was on that journey of that diet, and I was on a pescatarian diet before I became vegetarian, and it was just literally, okay, I'm not gonna eat any meat other than uh, egg, right? But that literally only lasted a week. So the way I did it was I started to have special non-vegetarian days twice a week, where I would allow myself to eat, anything non-vegetarian in those 2 days. That was usually Tuesday and a Saturday. And by the second month, I was not eating anything non-vegetarian during those quote-unquote cheat days, and that was just something that came within myself. I just didn't want it because I was just really happy with all the vegetables and fruits and nuts that I was eating anyway.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, okay, I'll make Sunday the one day that I'm allowed to have non-vegetarian, and another month went by, and I stopped eating anything meat, anything egg. And from vegan, it was just dropping cheese. So I don't know, it just came easy for me because I just had this inner knowing that this is better and I feel better. And no matter what, I am going to continue this. And so whatever it took, stopping like developing my own, testing my own products and everything in my own company because I have my own team for that. I just let go. So for me, it was quite simple and easy. Uh, but as you've heard, Talita has a completely different experience, right? Because for me, it wasn't really a transition. It was just like, okay, just drop it, I'm done, and it was very easy. But I'm sure that
It's
Talita
the
has a
fear.
different,
Yeah. It's the fear from what am I losing out? The FOMO. If you're a millennial, that FOMO feeling of like,
Fear of
there,
missing out, right?
yeah, missing out.
Okay.
And
So
anyway,
let's just ask the audience, if you are now in the journey of going vegan or even vegetarian, do you have any challenge that you go through? And so you can just drop your questions in the comment, so Talita or Yoda can address it. And um, so I'd like to know that usually when you go vegan, right, you will have like limited um, options. Like I said, there's also something that make a lot of people resist, right? Because yeah, the options are just limited. So how do you deal with that?
by cooking, by cooking yourself.
yeah.
So basically, there is no limit to what vegetables can do. And we've seen a lot of different innovations from all around the world. Silicon Valley startups are starting billion-dollar companies making meat substitutes. We've seen egg substitutes. It's just like the same thing as changing from fossil fuels to electric in cars, right? Or geothermal energy or other renewable energy sources. It's there, but the focus hasn't been there, and it just takes a few of us to start putting our focus there and finding different ways to make these vegetables into something more new, more delicious. It doesn't have to always imitate the meat, but it's a great start to get meat eaters to start to change into vegetarianism or into trying plant-based foods. But it certainly challenged me personally, because of the, yeah, like what you said, this like it's only a minuscule amount of restaurants out there are actually vegetarian or vegan, right? So therefore we have to take it upon ourselves. And I check in with myself a lot. I'm like, what do I miss? If I miss burgers, great, I can make that vegan. I miss Korean barbecue, yes, I can make that vegan. Like, there's nothing out there that you can't make just as good being vegan. And that's what we've been able to show, and I've turned it into a business. Over 50% of the food that I sell in my cafe is vegetarian. People come in, even though yes, we do still have the option for them to choose non-vegan meals or non-vegetarian meals, but most of them now start to understand that, oh, I come to Bo Bakery so that I can have delicious vegetarian food. And yeah, it's been mind-blowing for me, the kind of ways that it's been able to allow me to be more creative.
And I have a similar composition in my business. Those are the food that I produce, nearly 50% as well as vegetarian friendly, and some actually vegan friendly. But going back into creativity, right, guys? Talita was coming from the chef perspective, but there's always an opportunity to be creative, even when you go out.
Yeah.
Even though if you go to a
Oh, that's
restaurant
true.
that's not vegan friendly or
Yeah.
vegetarian, again, it's about shifting our focus, right? And this is what I love to do: looking at the menu at a normal restaurant and figuring out a dish for myself. And I love that. Like, oh, there's French fries, and I check, oh, is this French fries fried separately? And say, oh yeah, okay, I can get French fries. And then, oh, you have a salad. Can I have a salad by itself without the dressing? And then, oh, you have some steamed vegetables here. So that I'm like creating my own dish in a restaurant. And like 100% of the time, the server, the chefs, they're always on board. They always want to, say yes, even though it sounds really weird. Like, who's this guy, just eating like, potatoes and carrots and whatever. But, here I am just having fun on my own. And just, I'm creating this new dish out of like little building blocks that I discovered then and there. And for me, I mean, as a food enthusiast and as a chef, I like that too. And it's that sense of adventure that I really enjoy.
It's always fun to just sit down relaxingly and let Yoda order.
All right. So speaking about cooking, we're gonna have a little demo, right? Cooking demo that you
Yeah.
guys have prepared actually. So
So we've
tell us
prepared the
about the
video.
recipe. Yes. So tell us about the
Okay,
recipe.
so as we know, this is, during Corona times, we're all stuck at home, right? And me, I started getting into Korean dramas. And in Korean drama, they eat a lot of fried chicken. So then, of course, when you look at fried chicken every day, I was like, I want some fried chicken. But then, of course, there's no other way. I thought there wasn't any other way to make chicken. But then, after a lot of experimentation, we found that using oyster mushrooms, we're able to get almost the same kind of consistency and taste with chicken, especially when you kind of give some Korean spices to it. And then so our creation is called the vegan K burger, and it's delicious and it tastes just like chicken.
Yeah,
Just go.
and we don't have enough time for a proper cooking demo, which is why we prepared for you a special montage that shows you the process, and we'll explain to you a little bit about it after the video.
Yeah, and then we'll also show you how the finished product right
You
here.
know, so again, like it's about being creative and taking whatever inspiration, right? I mean, to be honest, I'm quite a simple person when it comes to food, and I'm not picky. I mean, you give me carrots and watermelon for a day, and I'm happy with that, right? But Talita is more discerning, and she likes things to be a bit more refined, as you can imagine by now. So she likes to develop things that she sees, and I love that, and I also love working together with her, and like developing recipes together, not just for our business but for ourselves at home. I mean, we are streaming right now here from our kitchen, but as you can see, it's quite clean and neat, and it's because we're streaming for you guys right now. If not, this kitchen will be completely all over the place, because we'll be trying out different recipes and different ingredients, because I mean, whatever we see is whatever we kind of inspires us to make. Just like Talita was watching K-drama, and she's like, babe, that looks really good. And then suddenly she just gets this spark, like, I'm gonna make a vegan version of that. Okay, and then I'm like, okay, I'm ready for this, even though my stomach isn't necessarily ready. There's a lot of taste testing and trials, as you can imagine. So you guys enjoy the montage, and we'll see you after the montage.
Okay, I'm gonna get the.
All right.
Still muted. Okay, change camera. Okay, so we're actually gonna show you right here and right now just the mise en place at the end. And right here, I have a vegan burger bun. Usually you need to use butter or eggs to make it soft, but actually just by using potatoes, I'm able to create super soft, delicious vegan buns. Okay. So first, We're gonna start with this awesome green chili pickles. Here,
Homemade, by the way.
homemade green chili pickles. Again, all the recipes will be posted on the Golden Space website, so look out for that. Okay, you just put some on there, and then here's the delicious.
Maybe put it close to the camera, babe, so they
Okay,
can see the action.
okay, delicious. What do you call this? Well, vegan fried chicken, lathered with
Or
delicious
Korean Viken. Yeah, Korean Viken.
Korean
That's
gochujang.
mushroom, right?
Sorry,
That's
Yeah,
mushroom,
it's
right?
mushroom. It's oyster
it's oyster
mushroom.
mushrooms. Can you believe
Oyster.
it? It looks like chicken breast. It looks like deep fried chicken breast. There you go. And then we put some cucumbers for freshness, and then just top it with a bunch of coriander, just like that. Can you just imagine how this tastes? And then we just plonk the top on. That's the vegan K burger. Yum.
Wow. I'm drooling here.
So if you like, actually, there's always a pattern where my boyfriends would always gain weight when they're with me, and this one also has a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I
Okay,
mean,
so
you know,
so just a quick question. So if you go vegan, you can still gain weight?
You know, I mean, if you eat more than what you move, I mean, again, during Corona times and during quarantine, sometimes we move a little bit less, and especially if I make and experiment with fried foods all the time. But you know, it's all good. Enjoy yourself. We're not, you know, we're being environmentally friendly, and this will not make your cholesterol go up. You know, we fry with coconut oil, and everything is really healthy.
again, it's all about what you eat, right? Whether veganism is a blanket term that anything that is plant based and anything that does not use animal products. So the recipe that we presented here today is very much a comfort food. It's the fast food version of a vegan meal, and so being vegan, you can be clean vegan.
Yeah.
You can also eat fast food. Like, you don't have to sacrifice anything.
Yes.
You just have to change up the ingredients. That's it.
Definitely, and
Wow.
therefore it contradicts my initial reaction and initial perspective of being vegan reduces your quality of life, because I've proven here that you can still eat deliciously, and I even wrote a rap for this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because I mean, for me personally, it took 4 years to go into veganism. And I thought, I didn't want to go vegan because I would have to give up on comfort food, right? But even with being a vegan, you can still have your comfort food, correct? All right, so
Right.
let's just check. You guys, if you have any questions for Talita or Yoda, please drop comments. Um, there's Cindy.
Oh,
Hi, Cindy. I just started cooking again after so long, and it's fun to try different recipes and connecting deeper with all the ingredients while preparing it. Okay, so that's another way how you connect to your food, right? Especially when you are cooking plant-based food, then in a way that's also your way to connect with the food, to connect with the earth, right? Because um, these ingredients are provided by our planet. Yeah.
and we're so lucky that here in Kuningan, like Yoda's mom has kept a really great vegetable garden, so it's even more.
Wholesome.
Yeah, so just going
Mm.
to the garden, picking up our own lemons and herbs and stuff, that's been really fun as well.
Yeah, and the biggest realization for the both of us, because we went on this journey and we supported each other, is that we became vegan driven by also self-love. I wanted to be healthier. She also wanted to be healthier, general wellness, fairer skin and everything. I wanted to lose weight. I was severely obese. But it's that self-love that also made us realize the interconnectedness of everything, and how we began to appreciate that our choices of being vegan is also giving and sharing love to all living beings. because it was then we came to a very shocking realization of how destructive the dairy industry is, the meat industry is, and how these animals that the plant that we consume as a human race
Yes.
was not given a choice, was actually made and bred to feed us, to feed the human race. And I mean, and that's a cycle of exploitation that I am happy I'm no longer supporting.
All right. So there is a question from Cindy. Can you get the recipe, or probably could you just explain a bit what is the key ingredient um, of the food of the burger, and how long
Yeah,
does
of
it
course.
take for you to actually do
So
that? And do you have to be like a skilled master chef,
So easy.
no,
just like Talita,
So
or
easy.
fast
I'm
food
I
recipes
can make it.
fast food recipes are actually the easiest things to make. And you don't have to be a professional chef, you don't need to have specific experience, and also you don't need to make everything from scratch. Okay, we're both bakers and chefs, hence we can make everything that is on this burger completely from scratch. But all it takes is a bit of time and paying attention to the ingredients, and in the supermarket, and you can actually find a lot of these things like the bun, like the pickles, and even like the batter mix, like completely available, all ready to go in your supermarket. So you don't have to make everything from scratch. Again, it's about shifting your focus, right? There's actually a lot of things in the supermarket that are vegan friendly already. So it's just about searching for it and making that extra effort, which is so easy. So, and the recipe will be posted on the Golden Space Indonesia website after this, and you can also check it out on our
And
Instagrams
face.
and Facebook after this talk. So it's, and everyone can make it. It's very simple. It just takes oyster mushroom, flour, water, gochujang, which is a Korean red pepper paste,
Fermented
a fermented red pepper paste that you can buy,
tomato
especially
ketchup.
in Asia, like in a lot of places, and even in Western countries too. Tomato sauce, cucumber, and
Cilantro.
cilantro. Like that's we believe that that's pretty much generally accessible in a lot of places around the world.
All right. Now there's a question from Patsy Brunwyn. Hi, Patsy. Do you think all blood types should be either vegetarian or a vegan? You don't put diesel in a petrol car. I have seen very fat, gassy vegetarians, which perhaps suggests that not everyone suits being a vegan. All right.
Mhm.
Could you
So
respond to
actually, the
this?
way if there's actually, you can look at the body anatomically, compare our body and the way it works, compare it to a fox or a tiger who only eat meat. For example, our digestive tract is not as long as a fox or as a lion. You know what I mean? So therefore, when we eat meat, actually it takes 72 hours to pass through our system. And but when we eat, but can you imagine just how much bacteria that breeds inside your stomach as the meat breaks down? And if you leave a meat out for 72 hours on a counter, it'll start to disintegrate, right? And it starts to rot. So that's actually what's kind of happening. So when we look at our molars in our teeth and the way our digestive is, it's like we are built to be vegetarians. We are built to be vegans. And when we do see a lot of people who are overweight, or perhaps they're gassy or they're bloated, it's just finding the right way to eat, right?
Yeah, and also with the blood type diet, a great question. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Because I tried the blood type diet, and what happened to me personally is that I did lose weight, and I reached a certain healthy point, but digestively I was still out of balance because I was still prone to IBS, GERD, and I was also still prone to indigestion and diarrhea. I'm AB negative, and so the best, like for example, the best thing to eat for me are turkey, um, avocado, and spinach. So I was eating a lot of that, but even though I was losing weight, I was still not feeling good inside because I was still feeling heavy. It was when went into vegetarianism and veganism, it was when all of those irritations went away. You know, um, So in my own personal experience, I believe that everyone can adopt a vegan diet. But again, it's about that adjustment. How, because everyone's metabolism is different. And you need to find out for yourself what works for you and what doesn't. You know, like for me, I eat a lot of fruits and I eat a lot of nuts. But for Talita, she's a little bit different. The
A lot
types
of
of vegetables she
carbs.
eats is a bit different, you
Carbs,
know?
carbs, 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 carbs.
So
And
so it's about creating your own journey and being mindful, and it's a process. Nothing is instant, and that it requires commitment from the self. It's not a matter of listening to a talk and, okay, here are the answers and this is my template. No, you have to make your own, because each body, each person is totally different, you know.
All right. Okay. So, do you have message, for those who are watching, who are considering to go vegan, or to start going vegetarian, to basically change their lifestyle? Do you have any message for them?
we do, but it's in the form of a rap.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Um, so should we go into the rap now?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so this is
Like,
I'm gonna put on my DJ hat because I'll be playing the
wow,
music.
the
so
swag.
this is all about having fun, not taking life too seriously, and also spreading the message of positivity, right? And I wrote a rap about this burger.
All
So
right,
this will
let's
be
hear it
our
out.
final message to each and every one of you, and know that veganism is about love, loving yourself, loving the planet, loving everyone, and so that we can become one and be more interconnected to the universal truth of the planet.
Okay.
So check it out. This is a We Are One exclusive. This is the Shroom Rap by Talita Setyadi.
Ah. Yeah. Tally Yo exclusive. Eat your vegetables. Eat your shrimps. Be a fun guy. Fun guy. Don't need no chicken and shrimp, so finger licking. Why take a life, but take a bird to the knife? Mollusk are from the sea, but on the contrary, these oyster mushrooms will never taste fishy. Just dip them in batter, it doesn't get better. Lather them up with gochujang okra. They so eat well, and don't tell it's not cold. You just sit back, relax, and watch gloriously in their expression of utter surprise and passion. You drop the bomb at them. It ain't chicken,
Say
bro.
what?
It's not chicken,
Really?
really.
No.
It's oyster mushrooms.
Oyster mushroom, y'all.
Oh, yeah. You don't need to take a life just to survive.
That's right.
One love, one world. We are one.
Always and forever.
That's our rap.
Wow, that's so cool. You guys should make a single out of that, actually, right? And put it
You're
out
very
there. That would be very cool, because going vegan is cool, and that's, yeah, you just prove it, guys.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
So this is a result
Yeah.
of our own creativity, right? I mean, not just making food, but also making great moments and cool ideas, and
Having fun.
having fun. Yeah, it's all about having fun.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so yeah, I'm waiting for that burger to be sent to me.
I'll send you this exact one right over.
All right, thank you so much, Talita and Yoda, for coming, for sharing your journey, and also tips, and definitely the recipe, which definitely looks yummy.
Yum yum.
Yes. So, thank you so much again, once again. Take care. Hope to see you around. All right.